Hello, we're back. Yay! And we're doing something a little bit different this time. Experimenting a bit. Let's see if this works. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 NFL games of this season. And I'm not talking about the most satisfying games to watch, because if not, the Bills and Patriots would be number 1. The wild card game. Because that was a very satisfying game to watch. Because if you hate the Patriots as much as me, it was so much fun to see them get their ass kicked so bad. Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Leininger, and here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the top 10 NFL games of the season, and yeah, this was really tricky because there were just so many incredible games this season that I really just had a hard time doing it though. So yeah, I'm kind of ready to piss some people off, but I do have a whole bunch of honorable mentions here, and yeah, so these aren't exactly in like particular order though. There's the Minnesota Vikings and Cincinnati Bengals though. Giants and the Commanders now. What a dumb name. Titans and the Seahawks. It was a close game and it was a nice comeback, but obviously not going to make the list. Ravens and Lions. It really shouldn't have been that close though. 6-6 field goal was just absolutely incredible. The Dolphins and Raiders, overtime thriller. Titans and Jets, another overtime thriller, which probably shouldn't have been there. Seahawks and Steelers, another one that probably shouldn't have been on here, though. But you know what? Geno Smith did play pretty good in that game, except for the fumble, though. Titans and Colts, that was pretty good. Raiders and Cowboys, thrilling Thanksgiving game. Buccaneers and Colts, another good comeback by Tom Brady. But you know what? He's retired now, so haha. Vikings and Lions, that was a nice little buzzer beater. Bills and Buccaneers, that was a very exciting game kind of going into it, though, but it didn't really live up to the hype until like the last little bit, though. Also, the 49ers and the Rams, I'm not talking about the championship game, though. I'm talking about the other game, and then the Raiders and Bengals wildcard game. Now, I was actually considering maybe putting that one in, though, but the reffing was kind of crap, so that kind of ruined the game a bit, though. And also, the one reffing problem, of course, was on the touchdown, though, which since the Bengals won by 7, probably means that the Raiders probably would have won, because on 4th and goal, the Raiders would have kicked a field goal. They wouldn't have done it. So, honestly, the Raiders probably should have won that game. So, and when officiating gets involved in a game, though, even if the game is absolutely incredible, though, it does hurt the game and it does hurt football. Now, we have even more honorable mentions. We have the 49ers and the Seahawks, though, the one where we ended up winning 30-23. And overall, it was a pretty sloppy game, though. But you know what? I saw it with my grandparents, so that's always fun. And then we had Domino's afterwards. Everyone loves Domino's. And if you don't like Domino's, you at least love pizza, though. 49ers of the Packers, though. That's the not the wild card divisional game, though. Honestly, it was a bit of a boring game, though. But you know what, though? It was a one possession game, so it gets a bit of a shot. Browns and Chiefs, that was pretty good. 49ers and Rams, now this one's the championship game, though. Nice comeback by Matthew Stafford, though. That was nice, though. Also, thank you for knocking out the 49ers, though, but you didn't have to win the Super Bowl. Chiefs and Ravens, that was a fun game. Packers and Cardinals, that game probably had one of the most shocking endings of the regular season. Rasul Douglas picking off Kyler Murray in the end zone. Bengals and Titans, that was also a really good one. Steelers and Chargers, though, just had a wild fourth quarter. Packers and 49ers, their first matchup, though, I thought that was just a classic of a game of leaving Aaron Rodgers too much time, though. Also, good comeback by Jimmy Garoppolo, though. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out, though. Bills and Titans, that was a thrilling game. Packers and Vikings, that was a thrilling game. Chiefs and Bengals had a thrilling game. All three of those last games all had one thing in common. The final score was 31-34, home team. So that's nice. Buccaneers and the Patriots, though, that was actually a pretty good game. That was also the Tom Brady coming home party, so that was pretty cool. Chiefs at the Chargers, though, that was a thrilling overtime game. And then my last honorable mention, though, I wanted to put this one in the top 10. It was the Browns and Chargers. That was a high scoring game of the year, so it didn't make the list. But you know what? All the top 10 of these games coming up, though, were absolutely amazing, though. And yeah, let's get on to it. So, number 10. It's Super Bowl 56, Rams and Bengals. And even though I was disappointed that the Bengals lost, though, this was still a pretty good game. I'm gonna try that again. It was still a pretty good game, though. That final drive by Matthew Stafford is easily going to go down as one of the best drives in Super Bowl history, though. And you may say, oh, well, the holding call, the refs were against Rams. Oh, I mean, the refs were going, the refs were going for the Rams. Again, I know. It must be nice to have the referees on your side. Hamilton. Yes. But then you could also say that the refs missed like the face mask on Jalen Ramsey, which is true. So I don't think the refs were going for the Rams in this game. I just think it just had like the coincidence though. But yeah, it always hurts when the referees get involved, though. But then again, the refs didn't like subdue the Bengals' offensive line to being terrible, though, because it just is. And also, Aaron Donald is a good though. Final score was 23-20 Rams, and it was a nice Super Bowl. It's always nice to have a close Super Bowl, though, and here's it. Even though I'm disappointed that the Rams lost, though, it was a close game, so I feel like it had to get put on here, though, because it is a bit of a disappointment when your Super Bowl sucks. So, last year, that was probably one of the most overhyped Super Bowls I've ever seen. And then 2 years ago with the Rams and Patriots, I think the only time I actually got excited was seeing Captain America get his shield in the Super Bowl promo clip for Avengers Endgame. And that was before the game actually started, so that is very embarrassing. Number 9, I have two of the most hated teams in the NFL, Dallas Cowboys at the New England Patriots. And this was actually the one good game where the 17th game was pretty good. There were a couple good ones, though. Seahawks and Steelers, that one was an overtime game, though. But I think everyone was most excited for Packers and Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes versus Aaron Rodgers. Number 1, didn't happen. Second of all, boring-ass game. This game was actually a lot of fun, though. It had two of the most shocking plays back-to-back, probably of the season. Of course, the Trevon Diggs interception they took to the house, and that was definitely like, oh crap, Patriots just screwed up. And then Mac Jones just responded with that 75-yard touchdown. And then Dak Prescott, 2 fantastic drives. One to tie the game, and then the overtime one against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Cowboys won 35-29 in overtime, and you know what? A game like that definitely deserves a shout-out. So it did make the top. It did make the top 10. Number 8, it's the season opener, the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this is how you open up a season, people. Holy crap. A back and forth wild game where no defense decided to show up, or at least no secondary decided to show up, though. Because that Buccaneers run defense did do pretty good. Dak Prescott, in his very first game back from that gruesome ankle injury, just played out of his mind. He played fantastic in this game. And just like most of you guys, I hate the Cowboys, but I do like Dak Prescott, though. And when he had that compound fracture, I felt so bad for him. Like that's gotta suck, though. Luckily, he did get a contract with the Cowboys, though, and if Joe Burrow didn't win that Comeback Player of the Year, though, which he definitely deserved to win it, though, Dak Prescott is probably easily number 2, in my opinion, though. So this is kind of the game where I was like, ooh, Dak Prescott might win Comeback Player of the Year, just as I predicted, but Dak didn't win 3 playoff games, so that's a bit of a bummer, though. And then, of course, Tom Brady pulling up another incredible drive, though, but that wasn't it, though. There was still just a lot of awesome plays in this game. So it was just a very entertaining game, and this game just kick-started a wild season. So, in my opinion, I think it deserved to have some recognition. Number 7, it's the San Francisco 49ers at the Dallas Cowboys. Probably one of the only good playoff games. Now, I will say the first 3 quarters, they could have been better. Though I think the first half showed that this game could be good, but then the third quarter kind of sucked. Though it's just the fourth quarter was wild. Of course, it all started with the fake punt, and then Jimmy Garoppolo throwing an interception, and the Cowboys quickly scoring off of it, though. And that was when it started to become clear. Cowboys weren't out of it yet, though. And But Cowboys did what they did best, and they choked. Yeah. First of all, because of penalties, though, but of course there was a little bit of hope when George Kittle looked like he fumbled the ball, and that was when I was like, oh my! I'm like, we got another 49ers collapse. You know what? Cowboys lost, so I'm okay with that though. And then of course, bit controversy. It wasn't controversy as in like the refs got in the way though. It was more of like close calls and stuff though. But yeah, you know what? A thrilling wild card game, and since the 49ers and Cowboys have a lot of history together, I felt like it deserves something to them. Number 6, it's the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs, the AFC Championship game, and this game looked like it was going to be a blowout at first. Kansas City Chiefs got off to a 21-3 lead. They played absolutely perfect though, and just as I said in my championship breakdown, Patrick Mahomes got a little jealous near the end of the half. Had a pretty bad play with Tyreek Hill, and unfortunately they just never really recovered. Though Cincinnati Bengals pulled off one of the greatest, probably the greatest comeback of the 2021 NFL season though. Of course, picking off Patrick Mahomes twice, putting a whole bunch of pressure on him though. They ended up winning 27-24 in overtime though. But you know what, that final drive for Patrick Mahomes in regulation though, that was definitely a very nerve-wracking drive for both teams. And games like that is when football is a lot of fun though. So in my opinion, this one definitely deserves a bit of a shout out. Then number 5, and this is where things, oh boy, all 5 of these games probably deserve the number 1 pick. Number 5, the Baltimore Ravens at the Las Vegas Raiders. And well, spoiler, 4 of these last 5 games are overtime games. And when I saw this game, I didn't think much of this game. I thought the Ravens were going to be incredible, and I thought the Raiders were going to suck. So I didn't really pay attention to this game. And then, luckily, I caught Tom Grossi streaming this game, and he was just going wild. And I saw like the last like couple minutes though, and I ended up watching like the highlights, and I was like, holy crap! Like, this is insane. So, in overtime, first the Raiders score, then they didn't. Then their rookie tackle screwed up. Then they threw an interception. Then Jackson fumbled. Then they were gonna set up a field goal, but then they screwed up again. And then they threw the game and touchdown. An absolute crazy overtime game where the Raiders walk on a walk-off touchdown. They ended up winning 33-27 in overtime. It is easily one of the best games of the year. Then we go to number 4, and it's the Los Angeles Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC divisional round. And this was another game where it really wasn't looking very good at first, but then the Rams just tried so hard to pull a 28-3, and then they didn't. Now, I will say, granted, thank you Rams for retiring Tom Brady. It is very much appreciated, though. But still, this would have been hilarious. This probably would have been one of the biggest choke jobs in NFL history. Because with the Falcons and the Patriots in the Super Bowl, though, whenever Tom Brady got the ball in the second half, he scored on it every single time. Though in this game, there were times where I was like, I feel like Tom Brady's going to come back, and I'm like, oh no, Cooper Kupp just fumbled. Now they're about to come back. The Rams just went 3-0. Tom Brady's about to come back, and then Von Miller would strip him, and they're like, oh, this is going to get difficult. And then the ball gets snapped behind Matt Stafford's head, and it's like, great, now you're going to screw up. And then they stop him twice on 4th down, and it's like, oh, they might actually win. And then they missed a field goal, a 49-yard field goal short, which made absolutely no sense. And that's when I was like, now you're going to screw it up. And just all of a sudden, I'm like, I don't even know if you're trying to lose, but trying to win. And then just Jalen Ramsey gets smoked. Best corner in the NFL gets smoked by Mike Evans. I'm not saying Mike Evans is a bad wide receiver, though, but just seeing Jalen Ramsey get smoked like that is very rare. And then Cam Akers fumbled, and then they end up tying the game 27. And I'm pretty sure that I said it in the divisional round breakdown that I thought this game was going to go into overtime. Tom Brady was going to get the ball, drive the ball down the field, win 33-27. But Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp suddenly woke up from their coma, and they're like, oh crap, we're about to pull a Falcons. And just one of the most shocking plays of the year, which is Matt Stafford just bombed it to Cooper Kupp. And basically when that happened, I was like, oh yeah, Mike, you're going to win though. I was so close to putting this one at number 2, though. Did not deserve number 1. Number 1 deserves to be number 1. I was so close to putting this one at number 2, though, but since it was a bit of a blowout, though, and just a very sloppy game by both teams, though, I unfortunately had to put it at number 4. But since it is a playoff game, and since this is the one where Tom Brady's last game, hopefully, though, and since it just had an absolute wild ending, though, this one just had to make a top 4. Then we go to number 3, and it's the Green Bay Packers at the Cincinnati Bengals. The only thing you could really say about this game is that no one knew how to kick a football. I was about to say a freaking football, but that did not go the way I wanted it to. Yeah, and once again, I thought this was going to be the craziest overtime game of the year. I was once again wrong. I've seen kickers miss like back-to-back kicks. Of course, there's that Seahawks Cardinals tie. I'm not mad. I'm not still mad about that. Not at all. But if I'm being honest, I really thought this game was going to end in a tie. Mason Crosby misses one field goal. Okay, that happens. Bengals miss a field goal. Ooh, okay. Packers. Once again, Rodgers too much time. Nope, apparently Crosby missed another kick. And then he missed a third one. And then the Bengals, they missed another kick. This game was just a game of where no one could kick a field goal, and I thought for sure that this game was gonna end in a tie. And then even my sister Megan, she's not interested in football. She was blown away that these kickers couldn't make anything, and she's like, "What is going on?" And I'm like, "I have no idea what's going on." But even besides that, though, this was still a very entertaining. This is still a very entertaining game. Ja'Marr Chase once again had another really long touchdown, though, and it was a pretty close game throughout. So easily number 3. And then, yeah, Crosby did end up kicking the game-winning field goal. But, which, I mean, this would have been a really fun Super Bowl, Packers and Bengals. So, then number 2, the best regular season game of the 2021 NFL season. It's the Chargers and the Raiders. What the hell was this game? The Chargers could not convert on any downs at all in the game, but only on 4th down. 4th and 21, 4th and 10, 4th and 10 on a penalty though. 4th and 10 again. Then 4th and 9 in overtime. It was just wild. They also scored on the final play of regulation. And then the Chargers decided to choke and for some reason call a timeout. Brandon Staley, I don't really know what you're doing, but you know what? I'm just happy you're gone from the Rams because I did not like playing against your defense. But besides that, once again, for the most part, a pretty close game, though, with a lot of very exciting plays in here. But just this game was just wild. And I had to wait so long to do my Seahawks Cardinals breakdown because I was also going to do a playoff breakdown as well. And I think this game, since I live on the Pacific Coast, though, it ended at like 9:15 p.m. It was supposed to end 45 minutes earlier. I had my cousins in here play with my Legos, so therefore there's Legos all over the floor. I was able to clean all of that up and the game was still going. And I still was in my bed for 30 minutes watching the game on my phone because we didn't have freaking NBC. That is how wild this game was. Like, I was just in bed being like, what is going on? And crazy thing was, I'm sure this game gave Steeler fans a heart attack because they're thinking to themselves, if this game ties, we're going to miss out on the playoffs. Oh. This was just nuts. It was so much fun to watch and easily deserves number 2, in my opinion, the best regular season game. And then number 1, not a surprise. The Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Probably one of the biggest upsets of the year. I'm kidding. Of course it's the Bills and the Chiefs. What other game would be on here? This probably could... I've heard people say this is probably the best game, NFL game. I'm going to try that. Some people will probably say that this is the best game in NFL history. And if overtime rules were better, I would say, 100% though. If this is not the best game in NFL history, this is at least one of the best games in NFL history. It probably has the wildest 2 minutes in NFL history. Of course, you have Gabriel Davis breaking an NFL record of 4 touchdown passes. Not even the great Jerry Rice was able to do something like that, though. And then Patrick Mahomes threw past Tyreek Hill. He just took off. Once again, Allen, another clutch drive. Allen, who had a perfect postseason. I believe he had 9 touchdown passes in 2 games, which is absolutely incredible. And yet he still got knocked out here because the Bills decided to play prevent defense, and also kick the ball at the back of the end zone. But just the idea of just Patrick Mahomes getting that ball into field goal range with 13 seconds just blows my mind. And I remember watching that game with 13 seconds being like, he's going to have to attempt a Hail Mary. There is no way he's going to be able to get into field goal range. And yet he did. And even though the overtime rules are bullshit, that final drive was incredible. It was a great game. That is one of the best games in NFL history. And even though I wanted the Bills to win, I wanted that Bills Mafia, that was easily the best game of the year. And actually, I feel like, just as I said, these top 5 games, these games were all incredible. And if you say anything about like these top 5, if you say, yeah, any of these 5 games deserve to be number 1, I would say you're probably on some. But that is my opinion of the top 10 games. I'm sure I missed a game. I know there was a lot of great games, though. I was so tempted to put the Browns and Chargers on here, and then yeah, Bucks and Patriots, I want to put that one on here. Packers and 49ers, the first game, that was a pretty good game too. And then yeah, no, there's a lot of great playoff games I didn't put on here. But hey, let me know what you think down below in the comment section, though, because I mean there were so many great games to talk about. Though if I missed one in the honorable mentions, you can let me know. I'm sure I missed something, though. Don't you dare say that the Seahawks and Rams, the second game, should have been on here, because you're a liar and it shouldn't be on here. I really just want to be good. That's all I want. But hey, let me know what you think down below in the comment section down below. You can leave your list down there, or if you can say your top your favorite game season, though. You know what? You could just go biased and say I hate the Patriots. That Bills and Patriots wild card was the best game of the year. You can follow me on Facebook, even though I don't do anything on there though. MATTHEWLEININGER. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I don't know when though, but I'll see you next time.